The night in Pascagoula was meant to be quiet, ordinary, a calm evening by the river. But suddenly, beneath the cloak of darkness, something unseen pierced the silence, shattering the peace like a blade through still water. In that moment, the town's innocent routine was forever altered, touched by an eerie, unexplainable presence. No one could have imagined what horrors would soon unfold, leaving behind shadows of fear and whispered questions lingering in the cold night air. Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker were simply two fishermen going about their business when their world turned upside down. Out on the pier, they spotted something, a strange, otherworldly craft gliding silently toward them, its unearthly glow casting unnatural lights across the water. Before they could react, both men blacked out, plunged into an abyss of darkness and oblivion. When consciousness returned, they were back on the wooden pier, the mysterious vessel vanished as if swallowed by the night itself. But time had warped, 20 minutes lost, swallowed by an event that preyed on their very sanity. Confusion and a creeping dread gnawed at their minds, the memory fragmented but the terror undeniable. Seeking answers, Hickson and Parker turned to the authorities, hoping for understanding, for some official recognition of what had shattered their reality. But instead of comfort, they were met with cold skepticism. The military at Keesler Air Force Base dismissed their story outright, their disbelief hanging heavy like a suffocating fog. Rebuffed and alone, the two men made their way to the sheriff's office, only to find weary deputies uncertain how to respond. Their ordeal was met with doubt, their terror reduced to suspicion and cynicism, deepening the isolation that already gnawed at them. It was as if the world wanted to pretend nothing had happened, wanted to bury the nightmare in silence. Yet, beneath the surface, hidden behind closed doors of that small sheriff's office, a record emerged, secret recordings meant to expose lies, to root out deception. Sheriff Fred Diamond had hoped to catch the fishermen fabricating their tale for fame or fortune. But as he listened, the truth revealed itself in trembling voices, raw with terror and disbelief. The men spoke candidly, fragments of a dark nightmare pouring from their lips. The room became a chamber of fear, where unseen horrors echoed louder than words. The evidence was no longer just a story, it was a visceral confession of terror, impossible to ignore. The fishermen's horror grew darker as they revealed the true nature of their captors. These beings, utterly alien, lacked eyes or ears, their faces nothing more than slits where mouths should have been. Their movements were chillingly mechanical, robotic and cold, devoid of emotion or mercy. The men described being strapped down to cold examination tables, helpless under the unfeeling gaze of strange scanning devices that probed every inch of their bodies. Trapped in this nightmare, paralyzed by both fear and some unknown force, they endured invasive tests before being released back into the night. The stark inhumanity of the experience sent chills down anyone who heard it, an unimaginable blend of science and terror that no living person should face. The aftermath split the men onto divergent paths, amplifying the mystery and tension. Charles Hickson threw himself into the public eye, sharing his harrowing tale again and again, his voice growing into a beacon of the bizarre and terrifying. He faced skeptics and believers alike, his certainty unwavering until his death, yet shrouded in controversy over his refusal to undergo polygraph tests and his embellishments over time. Meanwhile, Calvin Parker retreated into silence, his trauma locked away for decades before finally breaking it open through hypnotic regression and a detailed recounting that scratched deeper wounds. The contrast between the fiery witness and the withdrawn survivor created a puzzle that deepened the enigma, leaving observers to wonder what lay beyond the fractured truth. The unsettling event was not confined to just two men. Across Pascagoula, multiple witnesses reported strange, inexplicable phenomena that same night. A married couple, Maria and Jerry Blair, sat quietly in a restaurant parking lot when they spotted a glowing blue light hovering eerily just above the water's surface. It moved in a slow, mechanical pattern, almost as if it were watching them, pulsing with unnatural energy. Maria's heart raced further when she glimpsed a shadowy figure seemingly observing her from within the river itself, vanishing mysteriously beneath the waves before she could get closer. Across town, another group of 4 people stopped at a traffic light when an unearthly, wingless craft with a blue light surged over their car. The vehicle's radio suddenly blasted static and cycled erratically through stations, an invisible force disrupting the ordinary. These shared experiences stitched together a tapestry of unease and confusion, a creeping awareness that something alien and malevolent had invaded their world. The line between nightmare and reality blurred, twisting into a dark web of fear and doubt. Some whispered that the whole episode might be an elaborate hoax, orchestrated by unknown hands for unknown reasons. Others wondered if memories had been warped, twisted by alcohol, trauma, or shared hysteria. But no matter the explanations, one truth remained undeniable: both Hickson and Parker were gripped by genuine terror, their minds scarred by an event that defied reason or logic. The shadow hanging over Pascagoula was palpable, a chilling reminder that some mysteries resist understanding, and some horrors refuse to fade away. The aftermath left deep, invisible scars, not just on the fishermen but on the entire town itself. Pascagoula was never the same after that night. The cold grip of fear lingered in whispered conversations, in the haunted eyes of those who glimpsed the unknown. The truth was unresolved, hanging like a specter that refused to be chased away. Time could not erase the marks, those tiny punctures on Hickson's arms, the memories burned into their minds, the chilling knowledge that something alien, something utterly other, had touched their reality. And therein lies the most terrifying truth: this was not just a story, not mere folklore. It was a raw wound ripped open in the fabric of normal life, a night when the mundane shattered and the unimaginable crawled into the darkness. Pascagoula was changed forever, forever haunted by a cold, calculating presence from beyond the stars. The terror, the mystery, the unanswered questions, they all remain, whispering in the shadows for any brave enough to listen. If you've been captivated by the dark secrets of Pascagoula and crave more chilling tales from the shadows, don't forget to subscribe to Beyond the Sky and hit the notification bell. Join us as we dive deeper into the unknown, uncovering mysteries that lurk just beyond the edge of reality. Stay vigilant, because the truth is often stranger, and far more terrifying, than fiction.